So you just became a grandparent or just found out you're going to be a grandparent. Congratulations. Everyone told you how amazing it would be, right? How it's like parenting, only better. You get to have all the fun without the responsibility. But nobody probably told you about the hard parts, the confusing parts, the moments you don't know whether you're helping or hurting. And today I'm sharing with you 5 things that nobody really seems to tell first-time grandparents. Things I wish someone had told me before I made some mistakes that I had to learn some hard lessons from. So if you're a new grandparent or about to become one, this video might save your relationship with your kids. It might help you build something truly special with your grandchildren. Let's get into it. So here's the first thing that nobody tells you. The moment your child becomes a parent, your role fundamentally changes. Most of us fight this change without even realizing it. So for 20 or 30 years, you were the decision maker. You set the rules, you knew what was best because you were the parent. That was your job. But now your job has changed. You're not the parent anymore, you're the supporter. I remember the first time my son told me something about how they were raising our first grandchild, and my immediate internal reaction was, that's not how we did it. I didn't say it out loud, thank God, but I felt it, that resistance. And that's the trap. We think supporting means agreeing with everything, or we think it means we have no voice at all. Neither one of those two are true. Supporting means you offer wisdom when asked. You provide help on their terms. You influence through relationship, not authority. You don't get to be in control anymore. And fighting that reality will damage your relationship with your adult children faster than anything else you could almost do. The shift is from control to influence. It's from authority to advisor, from parent to grandparent. But once you accept that, everything gets easier. You stop fighting battles that don't need to be fought. You start building a relationship based on mutual respect instead of old hierarchies. My wife and I had to learn this the hard way, I think like everyone does. There were moments early on where we pushed too hard, offered advice nobody had asked for, and I could feel a distance growing. It took a lot of self-reflection to realize that my kids don't need another parent. They need a grandparent. And that's a completely different role. And that brings me to the second thing that nobody tells you, and it's a big one. Your adult children are going to make parenting choices completely different from how you raised them. It's inevitable. And you have to be okay with that. The grandkids might sleep in the parents' bed when you never allowed that, or the parents make the kids sleep in their own bed when you always had them sleep with you when you were parents. They might be strict about screen time, or they may be very lax about it. They may follow feeding schedules that make no sense to you. And here's the kicker. Some of the advice you gave them, it's now considered outdated or useless or even unsafe. Back in my day, put the kid down in a crib, you laid them on their stomach. Nowadays, they've discovered that's a big no-no. Car seat rules have changed dramatically. The way we talk about food has changed. Discipline approaches have changed and evolved. Doesn't mean that you were a bad parent. It means that we learn more as time goes on. Science advances. Culture shifts. Every generation parents differently than the one before it. I've had to bite my tongue more than once when I saw my children doing things I never would have done. There's a moment I watched my son handle a child's tantrum way differently than I would have. My instinct was to jump in and fix it, but I didn't. I watched, and you know what? It worked. His way was different than mine, but it still worked. Hey, look at it this way. Your kids all turned out pretty good, right? You must have done something right. Now trust that they can figure out their own version of doing it right. Your job isn't to parent their children. Your job is to support them while they parent their children. Big difference. So unless a child is in actual physical danger, let them do it their way, even if you think your way was better. Because here's the truth. They need to find their own path just like you did when you were raising kids. Remember how annoying it was when people would tell you what to do, how to raise your kids? Yeah, don't be that guy. Hey, so if this story is resonating with you where you are right now as a retiree, as a new grandparent, or both, I share reflections like this every Saturday evening. So hit the subscribe button down below so you get notified and don't miss out on little chats like this. They might show up when you need them the most. Now, this next one is probably the hardest for most grandparents to hear. Boundaries are not walls, they're bridges. And respecting them will make or break your relationship with your grandkids. And that was hard for me to learn because boundaries can feel like rejection. You know, when your son says, please don't give the kids candy right before dinner, or please call before coming over, it can sting a little bit. It feels like you can't be trusted, like they're putting up barriers between you and your grandkids. But here's what I came to realize: boundaries aren't about keeping you out. They're about building a healthy space where everyone can thrive. If they say, no gifts without asking first, honor that. If they have bedtime routines that they don't want to have disrupted, respect that. Even if it seems silly, even if you don't agree with it. And I know some of these might seem ridiculous to you. You might think, I'm the grandparent. I should be able to spoil my grandchildren. But think about it this way. When you were raising your kids, how would you have felt if your parents constantly undermined your authority, undermined your rules, even with good intentions? So respecting boundaries isn't about agreeing with every rule. It's about respecting your adult children as parents. It's about showing them that you trust their judgment. And here's the beautiful thing. When you respect boundaries, you build trust. And when you earn trust, you earn more access. You become the grandparent they want around because you make their lives easier, not harder. Now, this next one is sensitive, but it's too important not to talk about. And I've talked about it before. So if your son is married, your relationship with your daughter-in-law might be the most important relationship that you build as a grandparent. And nobody really prepares you for how to navigate it. And I know in-law tension is almost a cliche, but this relationship, it matters more than just about anything. It's delicate territory because there's history here, generations of mother-in-law jokes, cultural expectations, and real tension that can exist between a mother and the woman who married her son. Now, I'll be honest with you, I had to learn this one by watching my wife navigate through it. I think everybody does, through some hard conversations about my own assumptions. But here's what I figured out. Your daughter-in-law is not your daughter, but she's also not an outsider. She's the mother of your grandchildren. She's the person your son chose to build a life with. And how you treat her will directly impact your access to your grandchildren. So don't criticize her parenting, not even subtly. Don't compare her to how you did things. Don't make jokes about her cooking or housekeeping or her choices, even if you think it's harmless. And here's the big one. Don't put your son in the middle. Don't make him have to choose between his wife and his mother or his parents, because you'll lose every time. So build a real relationship with her. Ask her about her life, not just the kids. Support her, especially in front of your son. And defend her when others criticize. Treat her like family because she is. And if you've already made mistakes here, and most of us have, it's never too late to apologize, to try to rebuild those bridges. A sincere apology goes a long way. An honest conversation about wanting to do better can rebuild a relationship. So remember, she didn't just marry your son, she joined your family. So make her feel welcome, not just tolerated. The relationship you build with your daughter-in-law will shape the relationship you have with your grandchildren for decades to come. So here's the final thing, a little slightly different note. Your grandchildren don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be present. We put so much pressure on ourselves to be the perfect grandparents, pick out the perfect gift, have the perfect activities planned. But you know what kids remember? They remember who showed up, who listened, who made them feel seen. My oldest grandson is almost 7 now. And you know what one of his favorite memories of me are? The time I let him wade in the creek at the park And then we stopped at the convenience store for a treat, and I let them go in their bare feet. Big adventure. But that's what they remember. For another younger grandson, it's the walks we take and all the sticks and leaves and stones that he collects to show me. Every one of them is a treasure. Because to him, they are treasures. And my attention to that makes them matter. So your grandkids don't need you to be able to fix everything. They don't need you to have all the answers. They don't need you to be the fun grandparent or the wise grandparent or any specific kind of grandparent. They just need you, to be present for them, to be part of their lives, engaged and interested in what they're doing. So that means putting down your phone when they're trying to talk to you. Maybe it means getting down on the floor to play with them, even when your knees hurt and it's tough to get back up again. It means asking questions about their interests, even if you could care less about Minecraft or whatever it is they're doing. But being a part of that with them, expressing an interest, showing them you care. So you're going to say the wrong thing sometimes. You're going to mess up, might accidentally break one of the kids' rules or forget something important. And that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up. You apologize when you mess up and that you keep trying to understand their world. You know, I think about my own grandmother. What do I remember? I remember making sugar cookies with her. I remember how she made me feel, how safe I felt when I was around her. I don't remember if she was perfect. She probably wasn't. But I remember she was there for me. She cared for me. So stop worrying about being the perfect grandparent. Stop comparing yourself to other grandparents. And stop stressing about whether you're doing enough. Just be present, be consistent, be interested in who they are, not who you want them to be. Listen more than you lecture, and enjoy more than you instruct. Love them for exactly who they are right now, not who you want them to be someday. Okay? Because here's the thing, the beautiful truth. You get to be a grandparent. You get to love these kids unconditionally without the responsibility of being the primary caregiver. You get to be the safe place, the fun place, the place where they feel unconditionally accepted. And that's not a small thing. That's everything. So there you have it. 5 things nobody tells first-time grandparents. Your role changes from parent to supporter. Your kids are going to parent different than you did. Boundaries matter more than you think they will. The daughter-in-law or son-in-law relationship requires extra care. And being present for your grandkids means everything, much more than just being perfect. So being a grandparent is one of the greatest joys in life, but it's got a steep learning curve. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we keep learning, keep growing, keep showing up for our kids and for the grandkids. You're not just part of their lives, you're part of their story. So if this resonated with you, do me a favor and share it with another grandparent that might need to hear about it. Drop a comment down below. It might be just the advice or encouragement that somebody else needs to hear right now. So I'm Opa. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one.